Kadosh, good afternoon. How are you doing? We're going to continue with the Halevy on Bitachon. We're on chapter Vav now on Parnasa. And it says over here like this: Parnasa, the man was a siman for all generations. The man was an omen, was a sign for all generations. It says, the same halacha would apply to do the mezonot, the Parnasa of a human being. Kol yediotav, yediatov ishtaluto, all his idiot, everything that a person knows, his knowledge or his ishtalut, lo yo'ilu lo me'uma, lehadif lo ala nigzar lo, will not help at all, gain more than that which was already decreed upon himself. Just like the pasuk says, velo hedif amrabe ramamit lo yachsid. What does that mean? When the pasuk comes and it says that if you took too much, you didn't gain anything. If you went and you took too much of the man that you were supposed to, you went home, it was the exact same. If you took too little, you were never lacking. Why? Because then you were mitparech memerav, all of a sudden you were able to eat, and all of a sudden you were happier with much less. Which means that you never lost and you never gained. The man ledorot. The man was actually a siman for generations. Keishtadlut lo yo'il kelal leharbot lo. Yeah, because the ishtadlut will not actually help whatsoever to make anything greater. Okay, so this is talking about how important it is, the concept of the parnasa, and we have to understand that everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But now says the Bet Halevy even more than that. In chapter Zayin, lo rak she'ishtadlut ena mo'ila lifamim tigrom ha'hipuch. Not only is it that the ishtadlut does not help, many times ishtadlut will do the opposite of helping. Will be the exact opposite. Will make it worse. Yeah? Yeah? What does that mean? Says, it's going to cause the opposite. Everyone will see it in their own eyes. That sometimes all of a sudden you do ishtalut, and you come and you say, yeah, but I did my ishtalut. But not only did his ishtalut not help, like adraba, the opposite. It was worse. Meaning beforehand, if you didn't do anything and you relied upon HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it would have been good. But now that you did something, it became even worse. So it comes out that you did worse to yourself. Like just the pasuk says, right? The pasuk in Yeshaya is talking about when it says that if imagine right now the snake's eggs, the adder's eggs, they're going to hatch, or you're going to have a spider's web. Whoever eats their eggs will die, and when the eggs are crushed, the viper is hatched. Right? The snake comes out of the eggs. Imagine right now you're collecting eggs to eat. Yeah, you're getting a whole bunch of eggs and you want to eat them. So you heat them up in order that they should come out, and you want to eat it. But after all your work, all of a sudden you didn't know, but they were snake's eggs. So all of a sudden they hatch and it's going to come to damage you. The pasuk says, what does that mean? Hashem traps the smart people with wisdom. What does that mean? With a trickery. But with their own trickery, he traps them. Just like the story of Shlomo Melech. Listen to this story, something incredible. Yeah, there was a decree on his servants that they had to die by Sharei Luz. And he himself sent them there. Yeah, what is exactly going on? There, right, it says, right, as follows. You know the story. What happened? Exactly. Shlomo Melech saw the Satan. And the Satan, yeah, was all, sad and everything. So he comes and he tells him, what's wrong? Yeah, why are you so upset? So he says, there are two of your servants that their time has come to kill them, but I can't kill them. Yeah, what does he do? He comes and he thinks, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to protect them. How do I protect them? I'm going to send them to Luz. Luz is a city that nobody dies. Yeah, that's why Luz is the Sudah Shlishit. Yeah, the bone in the back. Right? That if you eat Sudah Shlishit, yeah, no Mickey Mouse. No, that you're not going to eat from now until after, understand? Sudah Shlishit. Yeah, Melaveh Malka. Yeah, you're escorting the Malka. Yeah. Sorry, what did I say? Sorry, Suda Revit. Yeah? No Mickey Mouse. You have to eat it. Suda Shlishit and then Suda Revit. Yeah? So what happened? What happened is that he went and he sent them to Luz. They got to the entrance of Luz. Boom. Kaddish. Yeah, they both died. Yeah? So what happened is Shlomo Melech, next time he sees the servants, he sees the Malach HaMavet, and he's all happy. So he's asking him, no, why are you all happy? So he said, because I just killed them. So how do you kill them? I just sent them to be saved. He said, no, I had to kill them at the entrance of Luz, but they weren't going there. So somebody went and he sent them to me. Who was it? It was Shlomo himself. You understand? Which means that from here, he actually brings on something incredible that you see from here, that not only is there a time where a person is supposed to pass away, there's also a place where a person is supposed to pass away. It has to be a certain time and place. But it's not just stam. So therefore, Shlomo Melech was the one that had to send them there, because if not, it would have been impossible. Yeah? So he says, the exact same thing happens with cure, with refuah. Sometimes you have that a doctor, he makes a mistake, right, in the refuah. How many times does that happen? Doctors aren't perfect. They make a lot of mistakes. So he says, not only does he not fix, sometimes they come and they make it worse. How many times does it happen? They go to the hospital, they want to try to be on top of things, and the doctors, they have 40, 50 patients. They're not even on top of things. Then you have the nurses, then you have this. Yeah. And then what happens? What happens afterwards is that they're not paying attention. And then boom, they gave the one the wrong thing, but he has diabetes. Had you given that? What did you do? You killed the guy. And now, Bar Minan with Corona, now they have free card. Do whatever you want. Nobody's going to be on top of you. That's it. A person goes into the hospital, he has to pray that he's able to get out. Because if not, Kaddish. There's nothing what to do. Why? There's a joker card. They could do whatever they want. Nobody will ever find out. Nobody will ever find out. All the mistakes and everything, nobody will ever find out. Don't worry about it. Yeah? It's a big problem. Okay? Fine. Next. So then the question is, so then how could we even try to rely upon hishtadlut if you don't even know if it's going to be for our benefit? At the end of the day, we have to do hishtadlut. Now, if we don't know if the hishtadlut is good for us or not, so how do we do it then? Yeah, how are we going to do hishtadlut not knowing if it's good for us? So he says, he doesn't know if it's good for him or it's bad for him. Imagine right now I come and I tell you, what are you doing? No, I'm doing hishtadlut. So I have to do marketing, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. I have to run and do this. So I'm going to ask you, but how do you know if it's going to be good for you? No? Maybe it's going to be bad for you. How do you know? Yeah. So he comes and he says in next chapter, Bitachon tzarich liot nikva balev lo min hasafa velachutz. So he comes and he says as follows. Here it says the Pele Yoetz brings down a story, right, of a person who was once asked, what is the happiest days of his life? And he said, you know what the happiest days of his life was? He replied, I must preface my reply with an important principle. If I were to respond with a great physical accomplishment, I would not necessarily be correct. So how can I know what was good for me? Sometimes things, they seem beneficial, but in essence, they're actually harmful. And the reverse is the truth. So therefore, the only accomplishment that I could truly be happy with is a spiritual accomplishment. And then he went and he said what his greatest spiritual accomplishment was. You understand? Rav Shach, I told you this many times. Rav Shach, at the time when he got married, they thought he was a misken. Why was he a misken? He was one of the best bachurim in the yeshiva. And at the time, he could have gotten a good nedunya, a good dote. You know what a dote is? Dote. Dowry. Yeah? It's in Espanol. Dote. Yeah? Un ajuar. No? Yeah? A very big dowry. Nedunya. Yeah? Right? So what happened? What happened is that he didn't get anything, basically. So people were telling him, you're a friar. You went, you got married, and you're getting nothing. Look at your friends. They got, a house, half a house, something. But at least they have something. So he went and he said, don't worry. Hashem takes care of me. Don't worry about it. He said that in essence was what saved him. Why? When the Holocaust started, right, everyone had a choice. Should they run away or should they stay behind? The majority of people, and that's what he said, the majority of his own friends, they stayed behind. What, they're going to leave their house, they're going to leave everything behind. So much money, so much wealth, everything is just going to go to waste. So they were dilemmas, and a lot of them they stayed behind. He had nothing what to lose. What are you going to lose? Picked up his bags, boom, he left. He said that's in essence what saved him. So if somebody's going to ask him later on in life, was it good if he would have gotten a big dowry? Was it good if he would have gotten a house and everything else? What are you going to tell me? Was it good or bad? It was the worst thing in the world. Yeah. Okay. And it didn't work. But at the end, it came out to his best that he didn't have it. Maybe he did the ishtalut, but at the end, though, don't think that the ishtalut was for the best. Imagine right now I come and I made an investment, right? And I bought something or I sold something. So now, do I really know if that was a good sale or bad sale? Maybe at the time you think, you're never going to know. You know when you're going to know? Many years later sometimes. Sometimes it takes a few years. Sometimes it's 20 years. Sometimes it's 50 years. You never know. You understand? For nothing. Yeah, 100%. Do you know that I always thought to myself, right? If you think about it, something personal, yeah? Why did I ever have to go to Venezuela? Yeah, why did I ever have to go to Venezuela? I thought of it many times, huh? To appreciate what is the free world. Yeah? You think to yourself, why? At the end of the day, I was in Eretz Yisrael learning. So fine, I had to go to Chutz La'aretz. I'm already going to Chutz La'aretz. At least you should go to a good place. You went to Venezuela 1 year and I already had to rush out. But then afterwards, I thought about it when I came here. You know what I thought about when I came here? Because if I wouldn't have gone to Venezuela, I wouldn't have been here today either. Wow. Which means that everything was for a reason. Sometimes it could take 1 day. Sometimes it could take a year. Sometimes it could be 10 years. Sometimes it could be 22 years, like you said. So it all depends on the circumstances. You understand? So everything all depends that you don't know what's going to happen. But it's only 100% you have to do ishtalut. But not always do you realize that the ishtalut is good or not. So Rabbi Victor Miller, he went and he said, there were presidents who thought their greatest achievement was becoming the president of the United States. But the great accomplishment caused their being cut down by an assassin's bullet. Yeah? What was that? Yeah? On the other hand, there were people who were forced by poverty or other difficult circumstances to leave Europe before World War II, but that actually saved their lives. So while when we expand the effort to make ishtalut to achieve what seems to be a desired result, we actually never know what's truly best for us. Which means that even after the ishtalut, never think that, I did my ishtalut and now I have beracha. It's not true. Because even after the ishtalut, we never truly know whether be'emet it was for our best or not. Okay? Which one?
I think you have to accompany.
No, the ishtalut, you have to do your ishtalut, not only tefillah. Tefillah and ishtalut are your businesses or whatever that you're doing. However, though, understand that even the ishtalut is not always for the best.
What means that the end result has nothing to do with whether you won or you lost or you.
You don't know. You don't know. Sometimes this ishtalut, in this case, could make you $1 million, and in the next case, it could lose you $1 million. And it was the exact same type of ishtalut. It just depends what the ishtalut was. When, where, was it really for a beracha or not? It depends on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it's the same ishtalut. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the exact same ishtalut.
If you lift 10 kilo or you lift 10 kilo, the end result will not be the same.
Exactly. So everything depends on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which means that the ishtalut in itself did not prove anything. Because the ishtalut in itself did not prove anything. Yeah? Fine. Next. Habitachon tzarich liyon nikva balev lo min hasafa v'lachutz. Right? This chapter 9 says, bitachon has to be in the heart and not something just that we say it. Uma me'od tigdal habusha. Look how great the embarrassment is going to be. Asher shlosha pe'amim b'chol yom omer. 3 times a day we come and we say, mechalkel hayim b'chesed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He comes and He sustains the living with chesed. Somech nofelim v'rofeh cholim. Right? He comes and He supports the ones that are going to fall, and He cures the ones that are sick. Velo nikva ze b'libo, but it's still not in their hearts as a clear belief. Ad keshiyagia liyado ze prama pratim, until something comes, a minor issue, shocheach hakol, we forget about everything and we start running to do ishtalut. V'chalila b'chas shalom, harei ze bichlal b'figu tzvatav v'kiblunim v'chok mani. What? We forgot that at the end of the day, this category is like the prophet is, he's giving us musar, and he's telling us what? With your mouths and your lips, you're coming and you're mechabedoti, but your hearts are far away from me. What's going on? Yeah, what's exactly going on over here? So he says, right, that's why a person comes So he says, okay, obviously he's not trying to say that it's wrong to do ishtadlut. He's only just saying that it's wrong just to put their entire, our entire basis and everything on it. Right? But at the end of the day, Akadosh Baruch Hu does everything. Okay? Fine. So this is just a little bit about, we'll do one more perek. Yeah, one more. And it says like this. Hamesim bitchono bebasav v'adam, harei ze bichlal arur. Imagine right now I'm going to come and I'm going to put my bitachon in a human being. Why not? Not only that, shematanata meuta v'cherpata meruba. We're Sfaradim, or Moroccans. We had that in. Not everyone has it in. Their matana is a matana muetet. V'cherpatam is meruba. That means many times a person will come and they'll mistalbet alecha. Mistalbet means I'm going to come, I'm going to brag. But what did I already give you? Really, bemet? Nothing. But I gave you something. So I already have my nose in the air. So shematanata meuta v'cherpata meruba. Many times they'll come, right? And you don't want the matana wasavadam. Why not? Because sometimes the ben adam will come. He'll give you a present, but he throws you a bone. And he thinks that he's doing the biggest thing in the world. The really bemet was a little tiny bone. But he's already with his nose in there. So because of that, we come and we say to Akadosh Baruch Hu, please, I don't want matana wasavadam. Why? They give you a little bit, but they already have their nose in there. The chirpa is very, very meruba. Because they come and they put in your face. They think that it's very important. 100%. So he says, "V'gam zot yasim adam el libo, ki asam bitchono bebasav adam." He says, if a person is going to place his bitachon in a human being, milevad she'eno mo'il, not only doesn't it help, just like the pasuk says, "Al tiftechu min nivim be'ben adam she'lo teshua," right? Don't put your bitachon in an adiv, but rather in a person that does not have teshua. Yeah, the be'ben adam, that it's a person that does not have teshua. Uvi Yeshaya. In Yeshaya, he says, right, as follows. He comes and he says, there's another pasuk in Tehillim, in Yeshaya. He says, right, withdraw yourselves from man whose breath in his nostrils. For what account is he? What is he? Odzot, more than that, there's a curse. As it says in the Torah, in Yirmiyahu, what does that mean? Right? It says, curse is a person that he relies upon people. Look how great the foolishness is. How is he going to be even in his eyes? To actually come and receive a curse from a Navi. Meaning, if you already know that there's a curse from the Navi, why would I ever put my support in a human being? Or in the bitachon of a human being, that I know that everything is heaven and he's not going to help anything. And so he's losing two things now. Number one, he's not going to get anything in this world. Right? Just like the pasuk says, that means basically the eyes of the wicked will look with longing, right? But he says it will be denied from them any haven, and their hope will come with despair. But also he gets the onish of the Olam Haba on the Avirah that he did. So it comes out that he did two things here. Not only didn't he gain in this world, right? But he also gained in the next world. So he put his bitachon in a human being. It didn't help. The pasuk already tells him it's not going to help. Right? But not only didn't it help, what happened afterwards? It didn't help, plus it became worse, because now he also gets a curse from Hashem. So now he loses in this world and loses in the next world.
Sometimes the Lord sends you a human being to give you what he wants to give.
100%.
It doesn't come down and say, here, ask for a donut, here it is.
100%.
It comes through another person. So how do you know to distinguish between when it's a shaliach or a Baruch?
No, because you know it's a shaliach. You have to recognize that it's a shaliach. And you have to put in your mind that if it's not going to be this shaliach, it's going to be another shaliach. And therefore, right now, thank you very much. Very, very good. But you already have in your mind that don't worry about it, because even if this one's not going to come through, I'm going to get another one.
You have to show the person that I appreciate it.
100%. Already after he's been your shaliach and he did it, 100%. But we're talking about beforehand. Because when I put my full support, what happens is it's a problem. Now, there is a problem technically giving your word. Because, for example, let's say I go to Ronen and I'm going to tell him, you know what, we're going to do a good business venture, right? We're going to sell matzot, with beautiful images. And then what's going to happen is, we have already patented, by the way. Huh? What do you think? We already did a, huh? What did you say? My face. Yeah. You put my face, for sure you're not going to sell it. You could sell it as maror, not as matzah. Yeah? People, they have me as nightmares. They say, the rabbi is on top of me again. He's telling me, why is he coming, not coming, this coming, is he coming to Shachrit, not coming to Shachrit? I'm people's worst nightmares. You can put me as maror, I'll be there. 100%. You'll get a good sale. Huh? For sure, 100%. Yeah? So, however, though, what happens, though, is that, right, all of a sudden I come and I give him my word. So now there's halachot, because at the end of the day, if he comes and he starts putting money into the business, and then all of a sudden I pull out, okay, he put his bitachon on me, because at the end of the day, I give him the word. So there's a lot of halachot in that, in choshen mishpat. That, for example, if it was only a word, but we didn't make a kinyan, so if I retract it for a good reason, so I'm allowed to retract. But if it was, so all these things, there's halachot. So according to those halachot, that's exactly what we have to actually pay attention to. Okay? Fine. Bezat Hashem, we continue next time. Bezat Hashem.